What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since I posted anything, but I do have an update today. And I mentioned before in the past that this car was not just going to be a resto mod, but it was going to be a tribute car as well. So today's the big reveal for that, if you haven't guessed already. Good news. I got the car to start with the key, the ignition. Past videos I explained, I could bypass it at the solenoid and get the car to jump over, but just with the key, nothing was happening. So I thought it was the neutral safety switch. I took apart the center console, messed with that. I took out the rod that goes from the linkage to the steering column, and still nothing. Still couldn't get it to work. I was doing it wrong. Well, that's not true. The neutral safety switch is bad. I had a buddy, Patrick, come over, who I just met online, and he's all, I can get that thing running for you. And sure enough, he did. He's an electrician by trade, so it's always helpful to have a friend who's an electrician, knows what they're doing, because I don't. When it comes to that stuff, wiring diagrams and all that nonsense, no. So he messed with something on the neutral safety switch, just messing with the wiring, and I guess the way he explained it, the circuit wasn't being completed between the wires because it is faulty, and so that was keeping the car from starting with the ignition. He bypassed it with something, and we did get it to crank over with the key, so that is awesome news. Yeah, because I wasn't sure what was causing that. I was afraid that it was going to be some big wiring mess underneath the dash and through the firewall, and it could have been a complete nightmare. So an easy fix. I ordered the part. It's on its way. I just ordered some headers. I'm gonna put some headers on this bad boy. But other than that, I haven't really done too much. I'm on vacation this week. I was going to try and get this thing painted, or at least prepped for paint. So I'm just going to rattle can this thing. I don't care. After you find out what the tribute car is going to be, it's not really going to make much of a difference. So I went to the hardware store, got my supplies. I'm just going to paint it here in the garage. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy. So I got me some plastic so I can tarp up the garage. Got me some more masking tape here. And I ordered, see a lot of videos with these, the turbo cans. So I got 3 of these. That should be enough to cover the car, because I am gonna do a lot of like the trim stuff, like around these edges and inside the door. I'm just gonna use a smaller can because the fan spray on these turbo cans is pretty wide, and I don't want to be overspraying out a bunch of stuff and messing. I'm just gonna use that for the bigger panels, the roof, all the side stuff, but a lot of it's just going to be the little smaller can. So I got to take the center console out again, mess with that for the neutral safety switch. Like I said, not too big of a deal, but was a little bit of a pain in the ass getting in and out. That's what I forgot. I needed to buy a snap ring pliers. Damn it. Shoot, because there's a snap ring on top of the gear shifter knob. Dang it, forgot about that. But yeah, before I paint, I gotta fill all these little holes here, because I had like a door trim on here, which I didn't hate, but I wasn't crazy about. So I got me some basic just filler, some putty stuff. So I need to do that before I start painting. I gotta sand down a little bit more. So but the big reveal tribute car this is gonna be, if you haven't guessed already, it's gonna be a Mad Max tribute car. I already got my roof spoiler, not attached yet. I actually need to cut this. These roof spoilers are handmade from a guy in Australia. Wasn't cheap. And a lot of the Mad Max tribute cars that you see don't have the roof spoiler for that very reason. They're hard to come by. But I reached out to this guy and he had one just sitting in his shop. So I paid a pretty penny for that. But to me, that makes the Mad Max tribute car with that. Now I'm going to do the side pipes, the zoomies. But yeah, it's going to take some massaging and some finessing to get this to fit. Because originally this was designed for, the original Mad Max car was a Ford Falcon XB Coupe, I think it was. Australian American car made for the Australian market. And so they're hard to find over here. Like, if that would have been my dream, was to get that car and build my tribute car with that. But they're pretty rare to find here in the States. They're either completely rusted out or somebody wants, you know, a gazillion dollars for them. That would have been my first choice. My second choice would have been a Ford Mustang Mach 1, like a 73. The body type is pretty similar to that of the Ford Falcon. But as you know, Mustangs can get pricey as well. There's actually a guy down the street selling one exactly what I wanted, but he is asking way too much money for it. And the AMC Javelin I got here, got for a really good price. Transmission might have some issues. Other than that, it's pretty clean. So I went with this. Also too, because I want to do the zoomy side pipes right here, right? The 4 pipes that come up. That wouldn't have worked on a Mach 1, a 73 Mach 1, because it's too narrow between the finger well and the door jamb. It wouldn't work. So this car actually works out better for the zoomy side pipes. But like I said, that was made for a Ford Falcon, so it's super wide. I don't know if you can see here, but it's way too wide for the car. And I was worried about that, but I'd rather have it longer than shorter, because I'm gonna have to cut about a good 7 inches out of it to get it to fit. So I'm gonna have to cut it in the middle somewhere, take out about 7 inches, and then this doesn't fit exactly perfect either. See, now this lines up pretty good here in the back, pretty flush, but then this is sticking out way too far, so that's not gonna work. And I'll be able to clamp this down or press this down or something when I get the adhesive on. But this is not going to work, so I'm going to need to, this actually needs to be sitting up here more, so this works, but then that raises the back up and a little bit here in the front, but this is kind of the area where it needs to be. So I'm probably going to have to trim this out quite a bit so it'll sit flush everywhere. I'm going to have to mess with it. Super nervous about cutting it, because this is a one-time deal, man. But yeah, you can see how that's about where it should be sitting. You can see how much more it extends out. So those Ford Falcons are really wide cars, but better that it's long than it is short. Otherwise, I'd have to fiberglass pieces into it to extend it out. So I actually got lucky on that part of it. But yeah, hey, if you guys are fixing up your ride, then fix up this ride as well. That's why I use Massive Supplements. I use their superfoods to get healthy. And so if you guys want to help support this channel, a little bit of change in my pocket, go to MassiveSupplements.com and use code PREPPER15 to get 15% off your order. And I'll put a link below. Appreciate it. I think the Road Warrior came out in 81, 82. So I was like 10 or 11 when I saw that movie for the first time. And I'm pretty sure I saw Road Warrior before Mad Max, because Mad Max wasn't popular here in the States. I think they released it over here after the Road Warrior came out. But I saw that movie, saw the Pursuit Special, Interceptor, whatever you want to call it. Saw that car and I fell in love with it. And I've wanted that car since I was a kid. And so it just so happens I found this Javelin for sale. not too far from my house, and it's pretty similar in body shape. So I'm like, I have to grab this thing. I gotta get this done. I'm in my mid-50s. I'm gonna be 54 this week, and I've wanted this car my whole life. I don't think I'm gonna do like rearrange the front end with the, what is it, a Monza front end or whatever it was called that they used on the Interceptor. Yeah, I'm not gonna go that crazy with it. I'm not gonna do the blower or anything like that, but just like the roof spoiler and the zoomies, side pipes, and some other little things, just so you can get a feel like, oh, that is the Mad Max car. So I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. Again, I'm on a budget. So yeah, a Mad Max tribute car. So other than that, I'm not gonna do too much else to this car. I'm gonna make it look a little post-apocalyptic. Like I got this, the headliner's completely gone in this car. It's just, I gotta pull this stuff out. I thought about maybe doing like a camouflage netting for the headliner. I don't know, would that be stupid? Would that be lame? And then I was thinking about taking this old jerry can that I have here. It was my dad's. I don't know, he's had it for a long time. It says USMC on it, United States Marine Corps. So I don't know if that's a military grade jerry can, but it's old. It looks cool. I was thinking about maybe mounting that to the rear deck lid. It actually will fit if I bolt it on there. So I don't know, kind of give it some post-apocalyptic vibes to it, but nothing too crazy. And then I want to get, of course, the Interceptor sticker back here. And then just take it to car shows. Just drive around town every once in a while. That's about it, man. My dream car since I was a kid, so yeah. But I got some stuff I gotta do. Like I said, I gotta prep it for paint and do some other things. And I do want to still want to get a front spoiler for this thing. They have like a racing spoiler that's pretty big that you could put on there. I might have to fabricate that myself out of some sheet metal or something, but yeah. And then I got an air breather for the oil fill neck, but it sits too high, it hits here, so I need to trim this this tubing down a little bit so I get the hood to shut. But yeah, and then get the headers in there. I got to pull these out. Shouldn't be too bad. Supposedly they're guaranteed to fit. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, 1970 AMC Javelin restomod Mad Max tribute car.